All right, y'all, so let's talk about this. So, Anthony Joshua versus Pringa. So, the fight was 2 rounds, not 2 full rounds. So, AJ got dropped in the first round. Now, he got hit with an uppercut that he didn't see coming. And this was him moving and sliding, and then he ducked down to avoid a punch. And they were kind of like either about to clinch or they were clinching, about to break the clinch. Pringa threw a sneaky uppercut. It didn't look that hard. The thing is, AJ didn't see it coming. So it's not always about how hard a punch is, it's when you don't see it. It's just like when Muhammad Ali dropped Sonny Liston. Liston never saw that punch. He was reaching, Ali pulled back and counted over, and Liston never seen the punch, and it just, wow, Liston was out. And of course, that was their rematch, their second fight. But at the end of the day, as far as AJ's performance, look, these guys, I keep telling you, these guys are not the same, man. These guys are no longer in their prime. When I was watching Anthony Joshua, I've seen every video with him and Usyk. And like I said in the previous video, one of my videos I made about a month ago, I told you guys, I said it doesn't matter. I mean, he can look great, he can get in the best shape of his life, like all of that stuff, right? It doesn't guarantee he comes out a better fighter. Now maybe him training with Usyk, look, he won. What I'm saying is, he could have trained with somebody else and got the same results, or might even did better or different. Who knows? We don't know that. Looking at what happened, it all matters. What comes down to is once you get in it. Once you get hit in the chin, hit the body, how you react. That's what it comes down to. It really, and people don't understand that. So, even like, the weight cut, when you are like muscular and you don't, you're in there, you're sweaty, your muscles are pumped, you're glistening, and already AJ, what is he, 6'6"? So, I think a lot of times, sometimes he do look smaller than he is, than how we see him. But fight night, because I've heard people say like AJ cut down like 230, 235, and I never looked at him and seen him as 230, 235. And he came in at 255. So you don't cut down to 235 just to come back in at, you cut, the more weight you cut, of course, it's the point of whatever weight that you gain come fight night, you don't want to balloon back up though. You understand what I'm saying? And AJ's never had a problem, 255, 251, whatever, as far as when it was times where, he was having issues with his gas tank, we've seen that problem get fixed. In terms of it being smarter, more elusive, the thing is this: if you are not going to fight on the back foot, what's the purpose of cutting that weight anyway? Yeah, you want to be quicker, you want to be more elusive, but if you're standing in the pocket, you understand what I'm saying? It's not going to make a real difference. His hands didn't look any faster than me. As a matter of fact, he didn't have that snap in his punch. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, his punches wasn't sharp and crisp. They were hard. And I don't like how he was throwing his punches. He has a way he throws punches, and then he'll kind of like lean forward, and his guards are kind of like low. And that's how you get caught with a shot you don't see coming. And he did it several times in the fight, after he got dropped. So what I was looking at with AJ was, for one, let's not be stupid. That Jake Paul fight was no contest for him, man. That was, this guy came and ran, and that was this fight coming back. He had a big, strong dude. Now notice, and I'm gonna tell you something about tall guys, and this is what y'all need to pay attention to. All right, this is what y'all need to pay attention to. when you are a very tall fighter and you fighting that crouch leaning forward, those are what you call guys that are really not defensively sound. So what they're trying to do is get low to keep you, who are also a tall fighter, from having to being able to land the shots and keep you, to keep them at the end of your shots. So they're doing that little, trying to weave and move and stay low. I'm looking at AJ, and one of the things, when people, you see the gloves are like this, right? But look at my elbows. And that's how people get caught with the uppercut. Their elbows are not like this. The elbows are like this. They're doing this. And I'm looking at AJ, and I'm saying, if AJ, see, tall guys, this era of fighters, man, they don't understand. He was throwing the jab. But when I say throw that motherfucker, I mean throw it, man. And sometimes you just touching. We tell you, offset these motherfuckers with the jab. Because you can shoot a little light one, you moving, you shooting that jab, and guess what happens? The motherfuckers is like, ain't nothing on this shit, right? Then all of a sudden they catch a stiff one. Now you fucking with them mentally because they're like, okay, he's planning to fuck around with me, okay? So it's going to make them more cautious. And it's going to make them get to a point where they're going to get desperate because they can't land the shots that they want to land. They're trying to bait you in. He's walking AJ down. AJ's the one on the back foot, right? But he's not dancing and like trying to stay, away from him. AJ's right in front of the guy. It's just he'll move and he'll back up. But he's not like trying to really get distance. And I'm looking at like where I feel like he should have been throwing the jab more and then rip that uppercut quick. Don't fuck around and throw no lazy wind or just, when you get him to move. Even like fighters don't remember shit like this. When the guy's leaning forward like that, if I push your fucking glove against your head, that's going to make you freeze. And more than likely, the first reaction for a fighter is to try to back up. They try to slide back because they're going to turn sideways. Nope, most of them don't. Because they can't see. Now they're taking their eyes off you. A body shot can come, and they're in the most vulnerable position at that point. So they try to slide back. And that's why when you throw that jab and you flick that motherfucker, you see what they're doing and you bow. But AJ's a different type of fighter. And he's not cerebral like that to really understand that shit. Because you flick, then you throw that jab, you push that fucking glove, you making his hand do this, and you throw right through the middle. And, but I'm looking, he's going to listen, these fighters train to do what they do. I think that the training camp with Usyk was for different reasons. I think, of course, he wanted to learn from Usyk. He needed the inspiration. Him and Usyk have gotten very close. But I also think, too, it probably was a thing that he's in a different space where he's not used to seeing his two best friends at. And it helped him to focus more on, doing what he got to do. And the thought of them is probably fuel to make him train harder. Him getting dropped, but man, he never saw the uppercut. The straight punch that hit him sent him to the ropes. Now, the one thing that people, I guess, are not paying attention to is really it was 3 knockdowns. Now, I don't know if the 3 knockdown rule was in effect, but it was really 3 knockdowns because he dropped it with the uppercut. If the second punch, the straight that sent him back to the ropes, if it wasn't for the ropes, AJ would have hit the floor. So that should have been ruled a knockdown. The third time is when he got hit, and his glove hit the floor. That would have been a 10-7 round. All right. I'm glad he won. Glad for him that he won. The dude been through a lot, man. Mentally, a lot of times people are never the same when certain things happen. And you never know what's going on in a person's life, man. And, people, non-fighters love to talk. A motherfucker ain't even had a schoolyard fight. Love to just blah, 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 blah. When my mom passed away, man, one of my sisters, we talking, she would say things like, man, I know mama not here no more. I know I ain't gonna ever see her again, but like, she used to call me every day at such and such time, she said, and it's like, I know she not here, but it's like, I still be sitting there like checking for my phone, like looking, just like hoping she called, but and that's psychologically a thing that it fucks with people, man. And like my mom, when she passed away, before she passed away, I knew that my mom was gone already. It hurt like a motherfucker, man. The reason that I'm able to deal with things like that differently is because I deal with reality. Like, I know we are all going to die one day. This video right here could be the last video I ever make. Who knows? Right? We don't know. So I don't fear death. I understand it's gonna happen, and I have no idea of how and when it's gonna happen, right? But I know that it's gonna happen one day. So yeah, it hurts, but me screaming and hollering and losing my cool is not gonna bring you back. You know what I mean? So I deal with it differently, and I don't talk to the sky. I don't go to grave sites and sit there and talk to a damn block of cement with your name on it. I don't go put flowers. I don't do all that little ritual shit. I understand the love that I have for you is inside of me. The memories that I have, all of that. And that's what I need. That's all I need. So whether it's me wearing a pendant with my mom's face on it, you know, and stuff like that, or wearing a t-shirt with her face on it and stuff like that, still got her obituary sitting right in my back seat. It's not a sentimental thing. I just put it there, and it's just where it is. You know what I'm saying? But I miss my mom, and I love her and I miss her. You know what I mean? But imagine, you know, too, when you close to somebody, it's like you go to work, man, and no matter what happens, your mind is just like you find yourself just, you got to keep focused, but that feeling is always there, and it takes time, man. So when you very close with people, man, and then all of a sudden, the way they died, and he was in the vehicle with them, so he saw the condition that they was in, you know, when they lost their life. So whatever, split open, bloody, bust, whatever, he saw all of that, you know, and to know that they're not, you know, they're no longer here. He'll never have them in his corner again, you know, even in the ring. You know, that's why I said, man, like, even like the guy, I know he didn't mean harm, but like, why bring that up? I'm saying to myself, like, man, and then you see he started, like he's about to cry. And then you see him like, he's like, oh, I don't want to talk about that, right? Like, come on, man. Like, you know, it's something about commentators too, man. These damn interviews, like, man, stop bringing up, like, come on, stop, man. If he don't bring, that's the kind of person I am. If somebody pass away, something happened to you, if you don't bring it up, I'm definitely not. And I'm really not looking to talk about it because I can't fix your problems, but I will. You good? You need anything? You know, that's me. It's like, man, you know, just talk about the fight and what's next. Stop, you know, don't bring these guys up, man. You know, let the man enjoy his victory. The way I see it, man, this is a gladiator sport, man. AJ he's already peaked. He's not going to get better than what he already is. Now, he can get sharper. You know, I seen Demetrius Andrade fight yesterday, and I was looking to see if he had sharpness and some quickness. This is the best I've seen him look. He looked better in this fight than he did in that David Benavidez fight. And if you notice, when he fought Benavidez, he was pulling punches from behind his back. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, like in a shorter fight, you don't know what flaws may be, you know, exposed like that. Okay, he's doing this wrong and that wrong. It's like he was trying to put everything in his punches against Benavidez. I feel like he thought he needed to do that. Like he had to try to hurt Benavidez instead of, you know, boxing and moving. He probably felt like he's at a disadvantage with Benavidez being a longer, rangier fighter with power. So it's obvious, you know, he fought really aggressive in that fight. He was getting hurt. And, you know, he did what he did, and he lost to Benavidez, but he got a win yesterday. And I don't know where he goes from here, but I'm telling you this, when these guys get up 36, 37, 38, understand, this is not like tennis, man, or basketball. All right? Boxing is a whole different animal. These guys don't want to fight these younger guys if they don't have to. If you're not holding the belt, you're not like the cash cow of the division, they don't want to fight you. Because you see a lot of fighters that they're sharper, they're faster, right? And you can have all this skill, but they may beat you just because they were more athletic and they were just too fast. And you know, when you hear fighters say, I can see the punches coming, but I just couldn't get out the way. Yeah, exactly. So it's like you're no longer in your prime. And so, you know, I don't care. Y'all can defend and make excuses for Terrence Crawford and Canelo and all these fighters all y'all want. But when I tell you guys, like, I'm telling you, if a guy calls your name and you accept the fight, and this dude is not on your level, but then another guy calls your name, and then you say, you know, if you want me to fight this guy, you got to pay me this and that. If this dude ain't on your level, then what do you just go smack him around and beat him? Because then you're going to take a fight with somebody that's not as good as this guy. I told y'all with this Xander Zayas fight, right? What did I tell you guys? I said, remember the question? It was really a rhetorical question. What I said, if Boots go in there and shine like he's supposed to, is he going to finally get his credit, or are there going to be excuses? I told you on the video, they're going to make excuses. I never seen Xander Zayas as any real threat. He can, yeah, like just basically. My thing is this, man. If when these commentators tell you anything about a fight, y'all got to think. They tell you these things all the time. They have these opinions. I think y'all don't really keep score. Y'all only keep score on David Haye. How many times these guys are so far off the mark? Everybody was talking like this was going to be Raylan and Thomas Hearns. Like this was going to be a super fight. I didn't see Xander Zayas as being that type of guy. And I'm sitting there like, none of y'all was talking about no goddamn Xander Zayas, you know, until recently. Let's be real. It's like I said, because you fight at 154, right? And the guy that y'all was claiming was unbeatable was the best guy at 154. The only person that can beat him is Terrence Crawford after Crawford beat him, right? And then he went out and he lost to Ortiz. And now that he gets past this, what are people saying? Instead of saying, yo, Jerron Boots Anderson Ortiz is going to be a great fight, everything is, yo, Ortiz knocks him out. Yo, if Ortiz would have hit him with that shot, he'd have did this. If Ortiz, like, you guys make it seem like the fight's going to be identical. Like, every fight, like, whatever happened in this fight is going to happen in the next fight. Like, bro, you know, it is what it is. And that just lets you know they don't want Boots to win. That's why they're telling you that. They're not saying it's going to be a great fight. They're not, no, everything is, yo, Ortiz is going to knock him out. They'll tell you, yo, Ortiz, right? Now, he goes in there and he beats Ortiz, then what? Now, it's just the same, the Floyd Mayweather effect. No matter who Floyd beat, no matter how easy he beat him, we got to find something. I remember before Floyd fought Diego Corrales, man, and everybody was talking about how this was going to be a great war. This is going to be Raylan and Hearns. Yeah, this is going to be one of the, you know, Corrales has a tremendous heart and yada yada, and this is going to be a dangerous fight for Floyd. Diego, his power, his reach is, man, that was one of the easiest fights Floyd ever had. Now, after the effect, now everybody want to make excuses as to why Floyd won. And it was like, what, same shit, the same exact thing. And I can remember, what's his face? What's the guy name? The one that Floyd had to curse out. The old white guy with the white hair. He was always old. Even when he was young, he was old. But that guy was talking, Larry Merchant. And I remember him talking. If y'all don't remember it, go back to the end of that Diego Corrales fight. And look, watch the post-fight interview. And listen to him, Larry Merchant, tell Floyd, when he said, who do you want to fight? He said, I want to fight Naseem Hamed. I want to fight, he called out him, I think Morales, he called a couple of names. And why, when Floyd said that, Larry Merchant says, Naseem Hamed is certainly not going to fight you after seeing his performance. He's definitely not going to fight you. That came out of his mouth, not Floyd's, but Larry Merchant's mouth. So, you know, all through the years when people try to make these excuses, talking about Floyd didn't fight this guy, that guy, he like, you know, these guys didn't want to fight Floyd. But when Floyd became the cash cow, of course they want to fight, because they're going to get paid more than they ever going to get paid by anybody else. And to this day, motherfuckers is not putting up the same numbers that Floyd put up. So, you understand what I'm saying? It's easy to talk. You know, this is why when I hear people say things, I'm just like, man, stop being robots, man. Stop repeating shit that people say. You know, acting like what you're saying, like there's truth to it because Larry Merchant said it. You know what I mean? Or because Jim Lampley or even Roy Jones or who. So what? They're talking. Understand something. You having knowledge of a sport, you having knowledge and understanding of how things work, does not mean you know who the fuck is going to win a fight. We could all make predictions and be right every time, or we could all make them and be wrong. Every time, or most of the time, or sometime, or half of the time. But at the end of the fucking day, what you can't do, okay, is predict how tough somebody's chin is gonna be come fight night. You know, you can't sit there and fight for that person. You're not in their corner to tell them what to do, what they should be doing. This is exactly why when you watch boxing, you notice you always hear commentary saying something different what the fighter should be doing a lot of times than what the trainer in the corner is telling them to do. So you see things through a different lens, but that fighter has to see it and has to have the ability to do it. You know, we all have different mindsets, and so the whole key to a successful fight, man, is, I mean, your strategy has to be better than the opponent, and mentally you have to be prepared that, you know, everything that you're dishing out, your opponent may be willing to dish out. You have to read the room. You have to know how to read the room when you're in there. You understand what I mean? And for me, man, I always felt like You know, like I say, when AJ fight, I don't know what version of AJ we're gonna get, and you know how he dominated against Francis Ngannou, against Otto Wallin. Like that's what people want to see from AJ, and so expectations not being met. You gotta understand where a person is. Deal with reality, man. Can he look sharper in his next fight, whether it's against Fury or whoever? Only time will tell. We don't know that. People love to predict things and they want to be able to say, I told you. It's like, man, listen, I don't know. Like everybody asked me about the Errol Spence fight. I'm like, bro, I don't know what Errol Spence still has in the tank. I can't tell you what I don't know. I haven't seen anything. The only thing I've seen of Errol Spence since the Crawford fight, the only thing I've seen of him, aside from him jumping rope, singing "Time the Change Will Come," only thing I've seen him doing, like only thing I've seen was him yesterday at the the open, the open workout, and I just seen him shadow boxing. What the hell am I going to tell you from that? I mean, you can see certain things, like when I saw David Haye, for example, before David Haye, the rematch with Tony Bellew, I was looking at how he was spreading his legs and how he was digging with his shots, and like the way he was throwing his punches. You can see this is the thing. Maybe everybody just can't. That's why why they're so biased. You can see when a fighter is shot, or when a fighter is not the same way. Like when he had that layoff and he came back with those two fights that he had, like C-level, D-level fighters. He got them out of there. And this is when him and Shannon Briggs was going back and forth, and he told Shannon Briggs, fight on my undercard, and if you win, me and you will fight. And they both got like first, second round knockouts, and the fight never happened. But bottom line is, when I saw him fight, both of those fights he had, I didn't like what I saw, man. He's literally pulling his punches from behind his back, and it was like flat-footed, planting his feet to like where it was like, yeah, these opponents are not even that. They shouldn't even be in the ring with him. But that's what I saw. I couldn't watch those fights and then have an assumption that form the assumption that he's going to go into the next fight. He's just going to be real sharp and a different fighter. I could see like, yeah, David Haye is not fleet of foot anymore. He's now at that level of where he just is going to walk around the ring, but he can't dance and move and be on his pivot. You know what I mean? And he doesn't have that. The footwork is not there. The foot speed is not there. And I saw that where he was shadow boxing, and I'm watching him how he was throwing his punches and how he was constantly with the wide-legged stance to where he looked bowling. He probably is bowling too, but like the way he was, I'm like, nah, that shit don't look good. And a lot of people don't see it. Y'all already know on this channel, I say things often, and some of y'all will come in the comment section like, I don't know about that, Aries. Yeah, I'm just giving you my opinions. I'm not telling you it's a fact. We don't know it's a fact until it happens, but my opinions is based off of the facts that I see. You understand what I'm saying? So, you understand what I mean? I've seen fighters in sparring and training look good and then come in the ring and look bad. I've never seen a fighter look bad in training. And when I say look, I mean, I ain't talking about he had an off day. I'm talking, you just see a training camp and you see like a fighter, you see this shit. You with the fighter every day. And I've never seen a fighter look terrible, look awful in training camp and then go in the ring and look awesome. But I have seen fighters look great in training camp and look terrible in the fight. So, I call Bellew to not only win, but like really beat him up, and he did. Fight got stopped, but yeah, I mean, and the thing is, I wanted Haye to win, but I didn't see him winning that fight, man. But I'm like, he shot. His legs is not there, the footwork is not there, and knowing the first fight, he had, had a Achilles tendon injury, and basically, in this fight, when I was watching, I said, yeah, he's done. He's done. And look how the fight ended up. So when I tell y'all something, a lot of times y'all don't see it. If Shakur Stevenson is that fighter he say he is, he should beat the hell out of Teofimo and easily. Teo ain't got nothing for him. don't know, Aries, man. Yo, Teofimo should beat Lomachenko, man. He's bigger, stronger. He got quick hands, okay, and he has everything he needs to beat Lomachenko. The only way he loses to Lomachenko is if he go in there and just give Lomachenko too much respect. You know, listening to this myth and all this stuff, like people want to act like Lomachenko can't be beat. You know, he should go in there and dominate him. He did that, and then people always, oh, but those last like couple of rounds, you know, yeah, I know. Yeah, let's forget all the earlier ones, the whole entire fight, and let's look at the you know, last two or three rounds. That, come on, man, you know. But yeah, and he went in and he won, and everybody thought that, you know, Max Kellerman was the one that said, you know, Teo's a good fighter, strong, young, but, you know, that's where the buck stops. It ain't with Lomachenko. Like, it's like, okay, kid, this is where the buck stops here. Yeah, he was one of the ringleader. He was the same one. I was the same one that said, you know, they didn't have YouTube back then, but like when I said Chad Dawson, I don't see anything special about Chad Dawson, man. Chad Dawson fades, he falls asleep in the ring, and I see Andre Ward beating the shit out of him, man. But you know, Max Kellerman, Chad Dawson, the monster. No one wants to fight this guy. I'm like, who is no one? Y'all keep saying these names. Who is avoiding Chad Dawson? And then you look at Chad Dawson's career, and the biggest names on his whole resume is an old Antonio Tarver, and an old Glenn Johnson, and an old Bernard Hopkins. But once he goes in there against a guy his age, and Andre Ward, who was a smaller guy, come up in weight, and that's what they kept saying, Chad Dawson's too big, too strong, he's ferocious. You know, Ward was a Showtime fighter, and back then they had this, you know, this lie. They had this false narrative that if you were an HBO fighter, you were amongst the elite. Showtime is like secondary. Yeah, okay, and that's what people thought. I said, man, I don't see Chad Dawson doing nothing with Andre Ward, man. I mean, all he has is a puncher's chance, but I don't see Andre Ward letting this motherfucker get off on him. We talk about a prime Andre Ward and a prime Chad Dawson, and he beat the fight out of him, broke his will. Motherfucker got hit, took a knee, told the referee. Referee said, you want to continue? He said, nah, I'm done. That was his exact words. Go back and look. I'm done. But when I was saying that, nah, nobody understood. When I was a little kid and I watched Sugar Ray Leonard, when I knew he was about to fight Terry Norris, and they, so who you got, little soldier? Who you think gonna win this? I'm like, Terry Norris. You think Norris gonna beat Ray Leonard? I said, yeah. Nah, he young. He don't know yet. But yeah, no, boy, good. He good, but he ain't on no Ray Leonard. You see what Ray Leonard just did, man? You see what Ray Leonard is, man? And I'm like, yo, I don't want to see nobody beat Ray Leonard. But at the same time, it's like I never was rooting against Terry, and Terry had some losses. I think 3 when he fought against Ray Leonard. He was only 24 years old. You know, y'all make the excuse for Canelo only being 23 or 24, whatever his age is. You know, y'all make excuses for who y'all want to make excuses for. I don't make excuses for nobody. I clearly just felt like what I seen in the two of them, I'm like, I don't see him beating Terry, man. I think Terry gonna beat him, and like bad. And when the fight happened, all the grown-ups sitting there scratching their heads trying to figure it out. You know, and I mean, listen, it ain't like I'm some fucking fortune teller or nothing like that. I'm just honest about what I see. If the fight turns out to be different, then so be it. I'm not worried about being wrong. I don't care about none of that. You know, but I'm not picking fights based on who I want to win. Like I said, I don't want to see nobody beat AJ. But if AJ fights Moses the Tama, I'm telling you, Moses the Tama destroys everybody. He don't just beat them, he hurts them, he knocks them out. He destroys AJ, he destroys Wilder, he destroys Usyk, he destroys Fury. None of them dudes is on. Man, listen, he's sharp, he's quick, he throw his punches the way he's supposed to. When you hear me talk about a fighter snapping his shots, you know, and that pinpoint accuracy and the foot speed, the movement, everything, that's what I'm talking about. He has that. And you're not gonna beat that, especially when you in fights like none of those guys beat Moses Tama. I don't think Philip Urkovich does nothing. Now, is it possible Philip Urkovich goes in there and catch him with something and hurt him and knock him out? Possible. I'm not telling you it can't happen. Do I think it's gonna happen? No, but it can. But I think Moses is going to go in there and beat the fuck out of Philip Urkovich. I think that's what's gonna happen. But either way, you know, this is what fighters do. They go in there and they fight each other. I just don't see, in all honesty, None of those guys beating Moses Atama, man. You got to understand, these guys at the end of their careers, man. All right, AJ is 36. He said he want to fight until he's 38. I don't know when he turns 37. But if his next fight is with Fury, so be it. Do they end up making it a title fight? You know they'll do whatever they want, these belts. And at the end of the day, it would sweeten the pot if it's a title fight. I mean, you know, I'm just saying, man, like, you know, we listen. You look at fighters like Crawford, even Alicia Baumgartner said the same thing. You know, Canelo said the same thing, right? We've heard several fighters say this about a particular fighter that want to fight them. I've been there. They all say the same tired-ass line. I've been there. I know what it's like. You know, he or she is a young, hungry lion, and you know, but hey, just wait your turn, and you know, I've been there. And then they claim that fighter's not on their level. But then they go fight a fighter that fighter beat already, or they fight a fighter that's just not even close to the level of the fighter that they're saying is not on their level. And then they make a ridiculous financial claim. If you want me to fight this person, if this person is not on your level, do you know how dumb that sounds? That I want you to pay me more to fight a bum. I want you to pay me more to fight a hype job. But then you go fight a hype job. In fact, you go fight somebody that doesn't even have hype behind them at all. So when these things happen, and y'all in such fanboy mode that you don't realize, like, you know what you're doing. You know you're being biased. That's the thing. That shit doesn't bother me, man. I just say, be honest with yourselves. If these fighters are not a threat, okay, are not a threat, you wouldn't ask for extra money to fight them. You just go in there and whoop that ass, shut their mouth, make that money, and you took a young up-and-coming fighter that was solid and made it look easy. Or you got the win however it happened, but you won. They don't want that smoke. I'm telling you. So even when they say it's because this guy is not on my pay grade, that's what they really should say. And be honest with you. Crawford ended up saying that later on. That, you know, I want 2 fights. Look, Errol Spence, rematch, and Canelo. And then I'm done. That's what he said, right? That's it. But then he said, look, I have no interest. Remember, they would sit down and be interviewed. I have no interest in fighting Jaron Ennis. He said, I want the biggest money fights I can get. He's telling you this. But then he's going through this. When they had the chance to fight me, they didn't want to fight me because he wasn't ready. Okay, well, wait, which is it? So the excuses, look, if I'm watching a fighter, this is me personally, if I'm watching a fighter and he like an absolute beast in the ring, I know I'm a beast too. Let's go. Fuck all that. Me and you, let's negotiate. Me and you, let's make this fight happen. The fucking networks, fuck that. No, let's make this happen. Why fighters stop doing that? You hear them make mention certain fighters, right? We gonna call each other, we gonna do this, and right? But nah, we gonna make this fight happen. Why the fuck would I watch an up-and-coming fighter, can see all the flaws? I'm still physically capable of whooping anybody's ass, and I'm gonna choose to fight that kid now. You know why they do it? Let me get him out the way. Push him further, you know, away. Because if this motherfucker keep learning, he gonna be a problem. Y'all think every fucking fighter, I think y'all think like it's like the movies. You know, motherfucker walk into some fucking temple with fucking torches and shit and sit there Indian style with his fingers up in front of a big ass giant cobra statue or some shit, and they just, all they do is sit there with war paint on their face and shit, and they just in battle mode every day of the fucking of the week of their life. Like, no, man, these fighters pick and choose. Some of them just know how to talk better than others. Some of them know how to trick you more than others. That's all. They don't want that smoke. I don't think like Terrence Crawford was like, oh, I'm scared of Jaron Ennis. No, I believe strongly he knows that motherfucker's a problem. I can risk losing fighting this guy. You know, I'm not scared to fight him. but it's possible he can beat me. The money is not going to be what it is. If I lose, that sets me back. Why chase him when there's bigger names I can chase? Of course you're going to go for the bigger money. Even if that guy that you avoid the fight for the bigger money fight is better than that guy. That guy has a bigger name. Well, you know boxing has been like that. Plain and simple. What did we say about Marvis Frazier when he fought Larry Holmes? That he ain't had no business in there with Holmes, man. You know what his father said? Joe Frazier said, well, you know, we get a chance to fight for the championship of the world. You know, this don't happen every day, so you never know when that chance gonna come. So we took the opportunity. Marvis Frazier only had 10 pro fights when he fought Larry Holmes, and he got beat the fuck up badly. He got punished in that fight, right? But he went there and he took it, all right? Case in point, here's a guy that did not earn that fight with Holmes. Why Holmes picked him, I don't know. If it was just a stay busy fight or whatever, but that's a fight he did not have to have, but he had it. And you gonna tell me a guy like Jerron Boots Ennis, as skilled as he is, everybody keep talking about how he make mistakes and he get hit like, man, stop that shit. He has a round and like every fucking fight that he has where somebody catch him with a shot or two or something that he basically shouldn't have got hit with. Let's say it like that, right? Like, you didn't see that coming? Damn. I ain't never seen Jerron have no fight and he just getting beat the fuck up. And the crazy thing about it is this is called boxing. They make it sound like boxing is one guy is allowed to punch and the other guy is basically just a crash test dummy, and they want to compare your performances to see who beat the crash dummy the worst. Man, this is boxing. So, case in point, to go back to AJ tonight, man, this is boxing, man. And yeah, he got caught with an uppercut he never saw coming. He got hit with a straight that knocked him into the ropes, and if it wasn't for the ropes, he'd have went down, so that should have been considered a knockdown. So, his hand went down, it touched the glove, that was 3 knockdowns. Facts. You think I want to see AJ lose? No. But if he do lose, I'm not like tripping and losing sleep. Hey, he got his ass whooped, not me. Fuck that. I'm not invested like that. But yeah, I seen him and I'm like, all right, you know, I don't think ring rust had nothing to do with it. I think emotionally, mentally, everything with AJ, he was focused. I think that, you know, I don't know if he understands that most fighters he fight now, they're gonna try to, you know, basically try to put pressure on him and try to make him fight more because they think that he's fragile. They think that if you jump on him, that he's gonna fall apart. He can't take it. You know, one thing that I like is this. He got dropped, but he never looked scared. He never looked scared, not once. And he got his bearings. He held like he was supposed to. You know, he didn't just start throwing a bunch of wild windmill punches, trying to just get lucky and land something. No, he got his bearings back. Then he started catching. Okay, I'm all right. Okay, I'm good. He dropped me. Go back to the corner after round 1. He comes back out. He starts establishing the jab. Right? He starts throwing that shot from where he's supposed to. He starts walking the guy down. You can see his confidence. He's landing shots now. You can see him backing this dude up. And I always said, man, with AJ's fucking power, man, look, he's not a pure boxer. He's a boxer puncher. He need to get that pure boxing shit out of his head. I feel like that's where this ain't got shit to do with Andy Ruiz. That ain't got nothing to do. That shit was a long time ago, and he got revenge. He went there and got his revenge, and he won more fights after that as well. Won some, lost some. But this is AJ to me, just like where he is as a fighter. I feel like defensively, AJ gets to the point where if he starts getting hit, it's more like, okay, all right, let me reset. Like it's like he just doesn't have that cerebral brain to just, you don't know how to switch hit and like it just don't flow with him like that. You can see that with AJ. But he will get his bearings, he'll get his distance, and once he start popping you with that jab or catch you with that right hand, he know he caught you good. He see that look on your face, and he starts finding that range. Yeah, he'll chop you down. The motherfucker is strong as fuck. And it's like I said, man, you never know what AJ that you're going to see. So that's why, like, even in this fight, what I seen of this guy, I didn't even know who this guy was. And basically, I put his name in, and they had like an 8-minute highlight or something, or whatever it was. And most of it was the ring walk and his opponent's ring walk and then the introduction or whatever. And I'm watching him fight. I didn't see anything special about him, you know, but at the same time, it's like, you know, you listen, the guy's big. You can see he got power. And pretty much he can dish it out, but he can't take it. AJ hit hard as fuck, man. I'm like, with both hands. Sometimes I think AJ don't really realize how strong he is. And that's why he's trying to be a pure boxer. With that kind of power, what the fuck, man? I mean, I know you don't want to end up with brain damage and all that. I get it. But it's like, you know, you got to go in there and get a motherfucker out of there if you can. And if you can't, punish him all night long. But work behind that jab. You are 6'6", man. Got a long reach. Work behind that jab. Keep that jab popping. Whatever happened to the quick step back? Motherfucker coming forward, you know, like, you notice where AJ started getting hit when he was jabbing. He started that pawing with the shit. Now I'm like, damn, that shit don't look good. Because when AJ starts pawing with that jab, he just don't look sure about like what he's supposed to be doing. And that's when the motherfucker get hit with a shot that he shouldn't get hit with. And when you throw a lazy jab, a motherfucker's gonna counter over that. He should know that. He's been fighting long enough to know that. So with all of the shit he's been through and just mentally, it's like, you know, he restarting, but he never looked scared, and he stayed on that motherfucker. Once he got his bearings back too, all he was doing was holding on like he was supposed to. All right, I'm good. Let me slow his momentum down. Okay. He got out that first round, and then the second round, like I said, he found the range of that right and that left, man, and that straight and that left, and he started catching him, and he see like, okay, I cracked him. I'm hurting this guy, and you know he never looked scared. He got him out of there, and at the end of the fight, when he said, I'm not going to be beaten, you know, I'm not going to quit, or something to that effect. It's like, cool, you shouldn't. And that's the thing, you shouldn't. You know what I mean? And I feel like the fuel that people use to push them, they feel like, you know, whatever they feel like they need. Bottom line is, you gotta have them skills in that ring. You have to have them skills in that ring. Despite what people are saying about, oh, the punch didn't look hard. It didn't look hard. But I see AJ clearly didn't see that fucking punch coming. Like I said, we've seen people get dropped with jabs, man. Like I said, that's why you look at the Ali Liston fight. He just, boom, it looked like Ali just touched him, right? But if you see that shit, you see how he, boom, you see Liston never seen that shit coming. It knocked him out. And if you know anything about fighting, period, those are the shots that get a motherfucker. The ones you don't see coming. And yeah, it happened. That's all. It's a fight, man. I mean, Inoue gets knocked down by a motherfucker nobody know. In all honesty, man, the only two fucking people on Inoue's entire resume, this entire resume, that people actually knew who they were, and I've heard people talking about them when Inoue had nothing to do with the situation, was Stephen Fulton and Nito Donaire. Any other fucking opponent, every Inoue opponent, I'm telling you, I go Google that shit, or I'll pull them up on YouTube, and I'm like, I don't even know this motherfucker. Don't know nothing about this motherfucker, right? And Inoue will go in there and get dropped in the first round, second round. Now, he gets up and he wins. Isn't that what's important? And y'all don't even know these guys. But what people will do, just for the sake of kissing Inoue's ass and not wanting to be as critical on him as they are with other fighters, yo, two great warriors. Yo, you know, salute to both. Oh yeah, salute to both of them, because you don't. Now, this happens to AJ. It happens to Devin Haney. It happens to Shakur Stevenson. Oh man, he got dropped by a bum. Yo, this motherfucker's overrated. Yo, this guy will beat him. That guy would. That's everybody just gets in the comment section and start talking crazy. He got dropped. Yes. He got rocked. Yes. He got up. Yes, and he did more damage. He did more damage to his opponent than his opponent did to him. He just got clipped with some shot he didn't see coming. Even the straight that dropped him, it came and it hit him, like, you know, and he couldn't get out of the way of it. And it knocked him back into the ropes. The shot that hit him that made him, like, you know, he went and kept himself from going down, but his glove touched the fucking floor. So it's not like AJ was in there getting beat the fuck up. He was getting caught with shots. Like, damn, okay. And yeah, it's a fight, bro. This shit ended in 2 rounds with people making it sound like AJ went in there and was getting his ass kicked for 10 straight rounds and then finally landed a shot. And even if that was to happen, hey, y'all say James Toney is one of the greatest fighters of all time, right? Y'all talk about how defensive he was, right? And I agree, he was a great fighter. But at the same time, Michael Nunn was tearing his ass up all night long. And what happened? James Toney kept coming. He needed a knockout to win. All right, he was so behind on the cards, he could have knocked Michael Nunn down twice, and he still would have lost the fight. But he found that shot. Michael Nunn got tired, and he caught that sweet spot. Wow, got him out of there. That's what matters. But at the same time, it took him all night, because Michael Nunn ain't no joke. This dude AJ just fought. No, we know nothing about him. We just seen Alexander Usyk get his ass whooped a month ago, 2 months or whatever it was, right? Okay, by a fucking kickboxer. But because, you know, the respect that people have, they don't want to talk about that. They'll salute to both fighters. Too great for okay. Why y'all not saying that same thing about AJ and this guy? This is what I'm saying. And in fact, this dude is considered a better opponent, a bigger threat than the opponent Usyk fought. Regardless, they both won. But AJ knocked him out. If that ref didn't step in and stop that fight, we don't know if Usyk would have knocked this dude out or not. We don't know that. Bottom line is, they stopped it. In my opinion, that ref saved Usyk. I wanted Usyk to win. And boxing is the sport I embrace more than I just love combat sports in general. But boxing is the sport I embrace the most. No, I don't want to see no kickboxer, no MMA guy coming in and beat up a boxer. You understand? No. And they always, they don't ever come in our sport. Yo, because ain't no money in y'all sport. That's why ain't no goddamn money. So, of course, you're going to fight in the damn UFC and get $100,000 or whatever the fuck they pay y'all, whatever. And yet you can go in there and fight in a goddamn boxing ring and walk away with $10, $15 million. Of course you're going to take that boxing match. But just for the sake of the ego, oh, man, now if I fight you in boxing, fight me in MMA. Like, all right, whatever, man. Ain't no money in that shit, man. That's why, again, I love watching One Fighting Championship, because it's not about bow down to this fighter. Oh, he got a mansion. Oh, this guy's a legend. Oh, my God. He's can we take pictures and bow and all that? No, it's just these fighters, men and women, want to be the best fighters. They fight, they entertain, and basically it's pure. It's like it's fighting at its core. It's not about politics. It's not about trying to make celebrities out of these motherfuckers. It's just fighting, and that's why I love watching that. You know, and when it comes to boxing, it's sad, man. That shit is the way it is. But everything is about, can I market this motherfucker? Oh, you got how many subscribers on YouTube? Hey, man, you want to get in the ring with the champ? And let me explain something to y'all, right? Do y'all remember the movie Creed 3? Remember how Creed's friend was in jail all this time and he wanted to fight? And he's like, what you asking me to do is impossible, right? And he's like, you know, saying what he was saying to try to talk him into getting him to fight, right? But you see how he did that, right? On his first fight out of jail. His first fight, right? No. Yeah, his first fight, and he becomes champ. Look at real boxing. You got YouTubers jumping in the fucking ring. So now you look at that. Was that far-fetched? That shit is happening for real. YouTubers jumping in the ring, calling out fighters, wanting to get in there. Motherfuckers from different sports, never box, jumping in there. It's a form of combat. Yes, they do throw hands, they strike and all that, but I'm saying they coming in there getting championship fights, bro. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? So, yeah, man. AJ did what he had to do, man. You know, let me tell y'all something, man. The fighters in the 70s and 60s was built different, man. You know, if you ever wonder why Holyfield was hitting form with all them punches and he couldn't get him out, wobbled him one time, but it couldn't get out. He was hitting him with some sharp, clean, crisp punches. I mean, look at them combinations, and he just couldn't knock him out. Ali dropped him. Yeah, but he was exhausted. Every excuse is always an excuse. The Ernie Shavers, Larry Holmes is, you know, came in late 80s, 70s, early 80s and up. Well, you look at these guys, man. I'm telling you, these fighters, they were built different. Mentally, they were different. These fighters now, None of these guys. Usyk is was the best heavyweight. On paper, he still is. The eye test, no. Moses Atama would tear his ass up, man. I'm promising you, none of them want to fight Moses Atama. None of them established guys that's already up there, top pay level and all, they don't want to fight Moses Atama. And let me tell you, none of them. Daniel Dubois, Tyson Fury, Joseph Parker, Deontay Wilder, Jelly Zane, none of those guys are the same as the fighters before them, man. The 90s, the 80s, the 70s, the 60s. Them fighters would have been hell for these dudes. And all of that, but they were too small. Hey, listen, man. Usyk was a fucking cruiserweight at one point. Holyfield was a fucking cruiserweight at one point. You understand what I'm saying? And imagine this. Derek Chisora had Usyk running all over that ring. What the fuck you think Mike Tyson would have did to Usyk? What you think? What you think Sonny Liston would have did? Joe Frazier? What you think? Derek Chisora is as good as those dudes? What you think? Ike Ibeabuchi, a young Ike Ibeabuchi. What you David Tua? Shit, Chris Bird. What you like Usyk would have had like, I don't look Riddick Bowe, Lennox Lewis. Nah, he ain't beating them motherfuckers. He's not Tommy Morrison, Ray Mercer. These dudes was listen. These motherfuckers was vicious, man. Usyk, Fury, none of them. AJ, them dudes. I told y'all this before. I don't see them the same. I don't have that same. I'm honest, man. This is the thing that people understand. I ain't a bullshitter. When I watch Terrence Crawford, I don't get that same feeling when I watch his fights as when I'm seeing a Ray Leonard, a Thomas Hearns, a Marvin Hagler, a Terry Norris. I don't get that with them. I'm telling you, he's not as good as Mayweather. Real shit. And I got nothing against Crawford. I don't know these dudes. I mean, they do sell out punk ass shit, and I don't look at them, but you know, it's not like no personal thing. I'm telling you flat out, them dudes is not the same. So the expectations that a lot of us may have, because we've seen these different eras, I'm telling you, they don't have that ability, man. And the thing is this: when a fighter is willing to die in that ring, I ain't talking about saying it. I'm talking when a fighter is willing to go in there and die in that motherfucker. You're not beating that motherfucker. And you're not willing to, you're not beating that motherfucker. Because when you start hitting this dude, let's say you might build up a couple of rounds and, first 2-3 rounds, and then all of a sudden this motherfucker start turning up and he's hurting you. And you hitting him and this motherfucker smiling at you, and then he's cracking your ass and he's walking through your shots, and all of a sudden you like, yo, what the fuck? Right? Yeah. It's like, Michael John White said two funny things to me. He said he think Tyson beats Ali. And he's right, he has a right to his opinion. But he also turned around and said people don't understand how big Ali was. That's why he was so successful. He wasn't just fast and could move. And Ali was a big guy, right? So how do you forget that when you match him and Tyson up together? And then he says Ali had the most trouble with Frazier, and Frazier and Tyson fight just... No, they don't fight just alike. There's so many differences between the two of them. I admit, Mike got better footwork than Joe. He has faster hands than Joe. He's more explosive with how he throw combinations. That don't make him better. Mike Tyson failed every time he stepped up with look, they make these excuses. Muhammad Ali, they always, when it comes to Tyson, they always say a prime Tyson, right? Or a prime Roy Jones. You never hear them say a prime Ali. They never say that about Ali. They always only say that about like Mike Tyson or Roy Jones. A prime Mike Tyson would have did, right? But y'all gotta remember too, Mike Tyson went to jail for 4 years. Okay, Ali didn't fight for 3.5 years, and he wasn't training at all either. So y'all forget that too? Like all of these things, I'm telling you, it's funny how people say things and they form an opinion, and they say they think Mike would have been too strong. Like, bro, first of all, and he said Mike is much bigger, taller, stronger than Joe Frazier. He's not taller than Joe Frazier. I don't think he's stronger than Joe Frazier, and I think Joe got a better right hand than Mike Tyson do. The left hook, I don't know. They might be about the same. Listen, I don't know. I put you like this. Stylistically, the things that make them different, I think Frazier now is a hard target to hit for most people. But bottom line is, when he say that, I'm like, yo, why the fuck you acting like Quick Tillis, who's nothing but a Muhammad Ali copycat? This motherfucker went there and fought Mike Tyson, and he's the first person to take Mike Tyson the distance. Quick Tillis. James Quick Tillis. This motherfucker couldn't hold Ali's, he couldn't Velcro his fucking sneakers, man. And this motherfucker, and a whole lot of people thought Quick Tillis won. But we only gonna make the Mike Tyson Frazier comparison. So when people talk, I don't give a fuck about what people be saying. People just be talking. But he says that, like I said, he has the right to his opinion. But it's like, one of the things about Tyson admits, hell no, I can't beat that motherfucker. Hell no. Oh, he only said that because of respect. Listen, let me tell you something. That motherfucker sat there and he talked to Jack Thriller. Y'all never saw the interview? Type it in. Mike Tyson, Jack Thriller interview. Jack Thriller. And y'all know the black motherfucker with the glasses, got them weird looking eyes and shit. And he asked him, who wins? A prime Mike Tyson or prime Ali? That motherfucker, Mike Tyson, went into his little breakdown of how he see Ali and told him, man, that guy is punching. He's dead tired. Like he's about to die. But he won't stop punching. He's punching. He's like, man. And this guy just keeps coming. And he's like, man, that guy, he looked like a model, but he's a killer. He's vicious. He's like, hey, hell no, I ain't beating that. Hell no, I can't beat that motherfucker. Nah. Mike Tyson out of his own mouth says, I could dish it out, but I don't know that I could take that type of punishment that them guys are taking. You see in every fight what Mike Tyson had. This is why I said people get on their knees with their tongues out for these fighters. But when Mike Tyson can't get his way, he starts trying to shoulder you on the motherfucking clinch, throw his head up into your chin, and doing all that, hit you low. Oh yeah, all that. He start fighting dirty. You put your mouth and your tongue on a man's nasty, sweaty ass ear and bit his ear talking about he's head, right? All this bullshit when he don't get his way. Mike Tyson was a bully, and if he can't intimidate you and can't, break you down and punish you like he wants to, he falls apart. And y'all know the type of shit Ali say to his fighters. This man hitting Frazier like, don't you know I'm God? Oh, that's all you got, Joe? That's all you got, Joe? Making fun of him. And Mike gets frustrated. Nah. Young dude was doing a reaction video to Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield. And he did Ali as well. And for every one of them, and he's I give him their props. But when it came to Holyfield, he said, yo, chat, do me a favor. He said, go in the comment section. Tell me who y'all think win. A prime Mike Tyson before Don King fucked him up and all that, and Robin get all these excuses. He said, I'll say Tyson, right? You notice how you never hear people say, yo, you gotta realize, before major fights, Holyfield lost his mother. Before another major fight, lost his brother, had to come down and identify the body, all that. No, y'all never hear that. Holyfield never make excuses. Muhammad Ali never made no excuses. Right? Excuses is why Tyson lost. But if Holyfield lost or Ali lost, he just lost, right? Doesn't matter what your opinion is, right? Everybody entitled to their own opinion. But in saying that, I'm looking at this dude and I'm like, yeah, he's another one that's been brainwashed. Somebody in the chat put up, they was arguing, going back and forth, and the majority of people was like, nah, Holy, what you mean? Who win? What you talking about before Don King? Like, they fought, and Mike got his ass whooped. Yo, you had somebody in there talking about, you an asshole. Mike Tyson in his prime was deadly, and so was Holyfield. So what's your point? And he goes, Mike Tyson was the youngest champion, the youngest boxing champion in history. He was only 19 years old. No, he wasn't the youngest boxing champion in history. He's the youngest heavyweight. So they don't even know what they're talking about. And they're doing all these insults and getting their feelings. Well, Pepino Cuevas was 18 when he won his first championship. Wilfredo Benitez was only 17. Devin Haney was only 20. Floyd Mayweather was 21. Ali was 22. So you understand? But bottom line, and Mike was 20. So with like all of this shit and trying to reenact the fight and what would have happened, and well, let's not forget, it ain't had nothing to do with no damn Don King. And when Buster Douglas beat his ass, the kid goes, "Oh man, she Don King, man, he should have had Mike Tyson training." What the fuck do you mean? Don King is the fucking promoter. Do you even know the road? What the fuck are you talking about? The Don King should have had him training. So wait, Mike Tyson, the same dude that goes, as long as people in my camp know I'm the boss, that's what's up. And what does he do? What does he do? He goes and they talking about, first everybody was blaming Robin Givens. Even my father said that shit. Buster Douglas ain't beat Mike Tyson. Robin Givens beat Mike Tyson. I'm like, Pop, what does... Was Robin Givens standing across the ring with gloves on? Was she in his corner giving him bad advice? Was she out there in the crowd yelling out shit? What's happening? No, he got beat. It's simple. That's it. Then you hear, oh man, the night before, Mike was out with Bobby Brown, fucking Japanese women. Like, oh, okay, well, whose problem is that? Every excuse other than just saying the better man was Mike Tyson, was Evander Holyfield. Then they talk about, oh man, he was old. He was old. He's 4 years younger than Evander. And while he was sitting up in that prison, Evander was out here fighting giants and winning. Come on, y'all. Like, this is what I'm saying. This is the shit. Ain't no need to make no excuses, man. And so my whole thing, I ain't making no excuses for nobody. But like I'm saying, with AJ, his focus and where his mind is and whatever, that's something he has to get together. That's the whole point. So this ain't got nothing to do with no Andy Ruiz and all that bullshit. Everybody keep bringing up the fucking Andy Ruiz fight, and that's like, man, bro, y'all talking about something that's like a decade old. Get off of that shit, man. He lost, and he got his get back. Simple. What happened tonight ain't had nothing to do with no Andy Ruiz. AJ went in there. I'm going to commend him for getting up and bringing the fight to this dude and not getting careless like he did against Dubois when he got hurt and started trying to like come back with just throwing like the wrong punches. He got his bearings back. He held on. He got away from the guy, pushed the guy, and just trying to get the distance. He finally found that range. I don't know what's next for any of them. Whatever happens, happens. Ain't no need for excuses, man. You come to fight and you bring the best you got that night. Either it work or it don't. And that's that. So what's next is what's next. Talk to me in the comment section, y'all. What y'all think about the fight? How AJ looked to y'all? And what y'all think about as far as him and Fury, if it's actually going to happen or not. Or do y'all think something happens where AJ ends up in the title fight? Because y'all know that they got vacant belts. It is what it is, man. That's all I got for y'all. Next one.